Oh, hey, what's up? So, this time I'm gonna do rezero. So, number 25 on the list. So, what do I think about rezero? So, the score is 8.24, which is solid. Um, and I gave it a 9. Yes, so ReZero is one of the few anime that I actually gave a 9 to. It's very rare for me to give a 9 or a 10. Extremely rare for me to give a 10. I'm not sure I will ever give a 10 again. That's how biased I am. I don't think I'm ever going to give out another 10. Besides the 5 or 6 anime I've actually given 10s to. But ReZero is one of the very few anime I gave a 9 to, which is extremely rare. So it has to be good. For me to give something a 9, it has to be unique, it has to be different, it will not be generic, it will stand out, and it will be memorable. So ReZero first season is definitely memorable. So this score of 8.24, well deserved. In fact, I might even raise this a quarter of a point up to about an 8.5. Based on just how other animes are ranking, ReZero, I might even put this up to 8.5. I don't think I would be, saying that's too much. So I would even say, this score might even be a little bit underrated, actually. I don't say that very often. So 8.24, yeah, well, definitely well deserved score. I have nothing to say about it. So yeah, well, anyway, the anime is great. I just like the concept, very interesting concept. You see a lot of character growth in the first season. Um, I was just it was just kind of cool seeing like I was actually count like how many times Subaru died, and it was just very interesting to see like how he handles it every single time, and you can also see how um you can kind of see the internal struggle of just the whole situation that he has to go through and all that. So I just thought the first season was really deep. I just thought it was really cool concept and it has some depth to it. So it wasn't just your typical cheesy, isekai anime where like, it's just some stupid etchy stuff. No, none of that. Like this is a legit isekai anime. So this is a really good one. So that's my opinion on the first season. Now, what about the second season? So second season got split up into two. There's actually some movies as well, but I'm not, I won't. I'll skip over that. So there's the second season got split into two sections. So as is quite normal, the score for the second season is higher than for the first season in general. If the quality doesn't change, generally people rank it higher because people that hated the anime aren't watching it. So that's why there was some score inflation. So it's 8.35, so it's higher. Now, what did I give it? I gave it a 7. Yes, so I gave the first part of the second season a 7. Now, in general, I thought the second season, both parts, the first and the second, were overrated. Quite a bit, not too much, but I would definitely say they were overrated. So I gave it a 7. So that's a huge drop. And then the sequel, I also gave it a 7, so I gave both parts a 7, and this one's even higher. It's an 8.46 because there's even more score inflation. So they're up in the 8.3, 8.4 range, and I'm giving it a 7. So obviously, I'm going to say it's a bit overrated. Um, so yeah, I just thought like whatever made the first season of ReZero unique and exciting, it just wasn't there in the second season. They just added more characters. It just felt like it was purposeless. Like a lot of I don't know, a lot of second seasons just feel like that. They just add more characters and they just keep adding stuff and they never explain anything and it's just um you're like what's going on. And in the second season I actually realized that the dialogue is actually really boring in ReZero. Like a lot of like sometimes they'll just stand around and talk and it'll just be kind of like pointless banter and there's like no purpose to it. It's not a very interesting dialogue actually. And I've noticed there was a lot of that in the second season, and I felt like they dragged it out. Like the pacing was bad. So it was still good. Like I gave it a 7, so obviously it was still good in some ways, but it was just wasn't exciting. Like whatever was interesting and exciting about the first season, the second season just completely lost it. Really. And unfortunately, that's very common. I said the same thing about Steins Gate. Steins Gate, first season I gave a 9. Second season I gave it like a 6. because that's just what happens. Second seasons are generally worse. Um, so are these scores overrated? Yeah. So the second season I'm going to say is overrated. 8.3, yeah, way high, way too high. I would probably drop this down to like 7.5. I would drop this maybe half a point, maybe three quarters. But yeah, I don't know. Half a point. I think half a point's fair. Yeah, I think three quarters would probably be too much. I do think this it's still a solid anime in general. So second season's still solid. So I would drop the second season, both parts of it. I would drop probably half a point on this average score because, as always, I grade stricter than the average person will. So this average score would come out to something like a 7.5 or 7.6. So anyway, that's just my opinion. So basically, the final verdict is first season is amazing, well deserved score, and second season a tad on the overrated side. So yeah, see you next time.